Hi, Courtney here today to talk about going on sabbatical and what it means and how I'm going to do it and the rules that I am giving myself for my own sabbatical. So first I want to say that if you like this kind of information, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I so appreciate you being here. So I have had the thought of a sabbatical on my mind for a long time. Usually sabbaticals are reserved for people who work in the fields of higher education, which I did for 10 years, but not in a conventional way. I worked in the health and fitness department. And my ex-husband still works in higher ed today. I didn't see many sabbaticals being given to people, but there was a lot of flexibility. In this day and age, a lot of people in the FIRE movement, financial independence, retire early, are creating large savings accounts and taking many retirements or sabbaticals to kind of test out what retirement would be like. And so in my particular case, I have long COVID, and I've had COVID, they think 3 times. I know for sure 2 times. I think I got the last variant, and my doctor doesn't think it was showing up because I showed all the symptoms. But the test that I had, it wasn't showing, but I was so sick, and I had all of the symptoms. So at any rate, he suggested I take 3 months off to heal. And at first I was like, I can't do that, but I've been working since I was 12. I started babysitting and cleaning houses when I was 12, and that is, my gosh, 40 years ago. So the only break I've ever had was when my children were little for maternity leave and a couple of years just working part-time with the kids. So I looked at what does the sabbatical mean? And it actually comes from the Hebrew word Sabbath. And so in Leviticus, they took a year off in agriculture from tending the fields or doing the fields, planting. And so it means to take a rest or a break. Now, there has been a rise in people taking sabbaticals. There's my kitty in the back in his box. I can't throw away that box. I can't recycle that box because he loves it so much. So people are starting to take more and more sabbaticals, especially by saving up and taking about a year off. So I am actively going to quit working outside of the home starting November 14th. It is October 28th right now. Tomorrow I have to teach a yoga retreat, and then teach at a yoga retreat. I'm a presenter. And then November 14th, I will be taking a year off, at least a year. And here are the things that I am giving rules for myself. So I help my husband with our roofing business. That takes me a few hours a week. Sometimes it can be more, but most of the time I can get it done a few hours a week and just kind of daily oversight. And it's very flexible. We also own an Airbnb, which I rent out about 3 weekends a month or 3 times a month. It's not just weekends, but 3 times a month, usually for a period of 2 to 4 or 5 days at a time. And that's about all I can keep up with. I do have someone who helps me clean, but she's not always available. So those things I don't ever have to leave the property to do. The other thing I'm thinking about doing, and I'm not sure, is cleaning up my website. And so I'm a solution focused coach, and I'm also a yoga therapist, and I've been in the simple living movement and financial independence movement for a very long time. I'm also thinking about going back and putting coaching and consulting from home, but keeping it very simple. I actually used to have a private practice doing this, and what it would be is just taking phone calls and helping people through phone calls and emails only. So I'm thinking about putting that up on cleaning up my website and my social media and everything, but not actively pursuing it, so that if someone filters through every now and again, it's just kind of like it's there, it's a little extra money. So not actively pursuing work outside of the home, not working off property, and keeping flexibility in my life. My husband is going to leave his day job. He works for the police force. and so, or the county. And so he will be taking his pension starting in April, and we'll continue to run our roofing business. So we'll have a lot more flexibility though, because with the roofing business, we can schedule roofs as we have time. If we're really busy, of course, we wouldn't take a vacation or go anywhere, but it's still flexible to some extent how we do it. So for our financial situation, what got us in this place, and I have another friend on sabbatical right now who wasn't planning on taking a sabbatical, but lost her job. And because she had done a lot of the similar things we had done, she's able to now take a sabbatical and take her time in finding another job. So these words are a little wishy, I guess you would say. I won't say wishy-washy, but it's a choice, right? It's a choice. So she's choosing to take her time to find a job in the private sector. And I'm choosing not to work outside of the home. We both are choosing right now to keep a lot of flexibility in our schedule. So with money, I want to be able to continue to fund our retirement accounts, because if you know my story or you've heard my story on Bigger Pockets Money podcast, or if you followed me here, you know that my husband and I started over late in life. We met when we were 41 and 53, and we both were raising children by ourselves, teenagers. And we were both very broke. I did have a little bit of retirement. I say little bit, it was significant, but I've never touched that money. I just let it sit there. So, but my income was very, very low, and his situation was even worse than mine. So what we have done is paid off all of our debt. We've paid off our house. We don't owe anybody, and we can pretty much live on about $2,500 to $3,500 a month. And that's, I would say $3,600 a month is living lavishly for us. We just have to pay our bills, but that includes things like taking weekend trips, buying plane tickets for our kids to come home, all the things extra, medical bills, everything. So we do pretty well on about $3,000 a month. I want to keep and grow our current net worth, and I want to be able to grow our net worth through saving and interest. And so that will just mean, continuing to see it grow and not decline. If it started to decline, meaning our very large emergency fund started to decline, and I'm not counting what's in the market because that goes up and down, but if it started to decline with the cash reserves, then I would have to seriously consider my plan again. From an emotional, mental standpoint, I'm taking a 1-week retreat in a nonprofit to deal with some of my what we would call childhood issues or family of origin issues. I'm going into a 1-week retreat for some deep therapy because of codependency issues, and I won't go into too much with that, but I think that's really important. I'll be working on myself through meditation, hiking, walking, reading more, doing more, just self-care, if you will. I don't want to make it a stressful thing, like I have to do all of these things, but these are things I want to make sure to include in my life. So that also goes into physical health, which I will continue with my walking, hiking, yoga, and I'll do more of that and some light HIIT training. I do some strength training, real light. Creativity. So I put that on the list because for me, I'm an extremely creative person, not in the sense of arts or arts and crafts, but I'm very good at starting and opening and running businesses. It is a gift that I have, an entrepreneurial gift, and I will have an idea like, say, okay, I'm gonna teach whole food plant-based cooking, and I'll start it and get it going. I'm extremely tenacious and passionate when I get something in my mind, and I'm gonna have to take that energy that I have, which it is calming down a little bit as I get older, and I want to put it into pursuits like my home, my family, seeing my family, and taking care of myself. And I want to get my home in order. So during lockdown, I went through every closet, drawer, nook, and cranny. I cleaned. Sorry, I dropped my pen. I cleaned. I decluttered everything, and it felt so good. I think we were in lockdown for about 3 months here, and before I went back to work. And I want to do that again. I love getting rid of things. I love having a very minimalist lifestyle, and things have just gotten a little bit away from me. They're not cluttered or crowded too much, but I want to go through my whole house and do that again. There's also some financial things I'd like to get in order. I need to clean up our passwords, make sure I have our passwords in what I call our legacy folder intact. So our legacy folder has all of our accounts. It has all of the directions in case something should happen to one or both of us, so that the other person knows what to do. To make it easy, a place where if something happens, you know what to do. I want to get a bunch of our paperwork in order for our business, create some written orders of operations. We have them now, but they're just sheets of paper in a file. And I want to create a book of order of operations, a contact list, etc., so that if and when we get ready to sell the business, it will be ready for a new buyer. If that is possible, I don't know. So there's just, getting my house, my life in order. And about next year, I am due to have my first grandbaby. And at that point, it will be about 9 months from now, obviously. And I will hopefully have everything kind of in order and be in a better place. And I plan to help out with the baby 2 afternoons a week. So that is my plan. Now, will I ever go back to work? I expect that it's likely that I will probably continue to do some kind of coaching or consulting online through Simple Living and Financial Independence. That is the direction I am with financial independence, with whole food plant-based eating and yoga therapy and solution-focused coaching. I love solution-focused coaching. You don't have to necessarily have the same background as me to do that. I've helped people through all kinds of issues. It's a system that works for almost any problem. So I'll probably do some freelance work here, but my hope is to have freedom and flexibility to spend time with my husband, who's 12 years older than me, so that we can travel and enjoy our life together and enjoy those new grandbabies. So I expect I'm going to probably have more. I have other children who want to have children. So yeah, it's time to slow down, but who knows? I don't want to ever say never, because you never know what's going to come up in life or what's going to change, and you don't want to close yourself off to possibilities. But I'm looking forward to the time to heal not only my physical body, but my mind, my mental health, and my emotional health, and to deal with, quite frankly, if I'm being honest, I've had a lot of hurt in the past 11 years. I went through a divorce, and I went through some very stressful situations with my school, with my job, with people that worked with me and for me. And it happened, I wouldn't say I lost. I had some very good friends that I thought were really good friends that I loved very much. And there were some decisions made and some choices made that I just had to cut them out of my life, and it hurt very badly. And I really haven't had time to process that or deal with it. I'm starting to get a lot better with it, but I see that as a whole, it's a whole lifetime thing of me getting into relationships that aren't necessarily healthy and not being able to see it. And so I really want to work on that and know what my part in that is and how I can fix that so that doesn't continue to happen. So I'm really lucky now to have such wonderful friends and a wonderful family, and yeah, things are looking good right now. Thank you so much for being here. Let me know below if you've had a sabbatical or took a break from work and what you did or how you used it. I don't want to waste it. I don't want to feel like I haven't accomplished anything. But by accomplish, I mean better mental and physical health. So thanks so much for being here. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.